This week, it's artificial intelligence all over Oregon. BuzzCutt adds 35,000 new establishments. Pitch Latino takes a field trip to Seattle in May. Our friends at Rain Catalyst now have a new leader, and the World Wide Web, if you're currently soaking in it, is now 35 years old. Let's get into it. Sorry if my energy is a little low. They were doing some repair at 4 a.m. with a big backhoe in the middle of the street last night, this morning. So I woke up a little earlier than I expected, and so my energy level, it may be down a little bit. So I apologize, but lots of exciting stuff to talk about this week. We've got some AI to talk about, which I'm, always excited to talk about the AI. So deal with my energy level. It's going to be kind of chill. Don't mistake the chill for lack of excitement. I'm still just as excited as I always am. Everything's kind of AI-y lately. Everybody's talking about the AI. Everybody's putting the AI into their products. Everybody's figuring out how to leverage AI. But I feel like it's appropriate to be tracking this stuff right now because AI is still kind of new and fun, and people are doing interesting things with it. So this will be kind of your Oregon artificial intelligence episode. There's a lot of things going on with not only the technology, but with the community. There's a new meetup group called AI Portland. They held a happy hour this month that wound up having a waiting list because so many people were interested in it. Austin Gould is kicking off a new weekly AI chat for people to get together and virtually on Google Meet to meet up and ask questions or talk about AI or share what they're working on in terms of AI. So the community dynamics are super interesting in that regard. And then of course we've got Rosie, who's our little AI for the Portland startup community to help you find your way around. And Rosie's doing everything he can to be helpful. He even got a shout out in GeekWire this week in the GeekWire newsletter. It was nice to see him pop up there and to see more people interacting with Rosie on Slack, which has been the most exciting new change to Rosie. Is if you go to our Slack, Portland Startup Slack, and jump in the help channel, you can sit right there and chat with Rosie and see other people chatting with Rosie and see what types of questions are being asked and what kind of answers are being provided. But now you can really tell that the Oregon artificial intelligence world is getting serious because the state government is now getting slightly concerned and involved. They've formed a new Oregon Artificial Intelligence Advisory Council by order of the governor. In fact, I want to read what not the proclamation, not the whereas this, whereas that, whereas the other thing, but the content of the guidance that established this council. So here's what the council is designed to do. The purpose of the council is to recommend an action plan to guide awareness, education, and usage of artificial intelligence in state government that aligns with the state's policies, goals, and values, and supports public servants to deliver customer service more efficiently and effectively. The recommended action plan shall include concrete executive actions, policies, and investments needed to leverage artificial intelligence while honoring transparency, privacy, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a 14-member, I believe, panel advisory council. Their first meeting is next week, next Tuesday. It happens in the morning, and it's open to the public. It will be online virtual meeting. So if you're interested in learning more about the council, I'll link it up so you can read about it. But if you have time on Tuesday morning to attend the meeting, or maybe just set it in the background, Tuesday, March 19th, starting at 10 a.m., you can listen in to the very first meeting of the council and learn more about the people on the council and what they're hoping to achieve. Oregon Artificial Intelligence Advisory Council. coming soon to a web browser near you. Just subscribe and I'll deliver this to you every week. But just subscribe. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. This week, the web turned 35 years old. So it's middle-aged, basically. Tim Berners-Lee put up a post that talked about his thoughts about the web and where it's going, what it's been like for it to be around for 35 years, and, areas that there, his hopes, but also areas where there have been issues. So if you haven't had a chance to read that by the founder of the World Wide Web, the guy who created it, it's always good to when he checks in and gives people his perspective on his invention and where it's gone and what it still has the potential to do for all of humanity. So check out Tim Berners-Lee's open letter on the web's 35th birthday. Sunday, St. Patrick's Day. So if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, good luck with wearing the green and all that kind of stuff. And maybe if you're interested in not imbibing in alcohol during St. Patrick's Day celebrations, maybe check out BuzzCutt. I've talked about them before. They're the app that you can use when you're like, I'm not really feeling like alcohol, but I would like a maybe fancy drink. Is there a fancy mocktail bar or somewhere I can go with friends who may want to drink, even though I don't want to drink? That's basically what BuzzCutt does. And it's done it very well locally and in some other areas throughout the US. But as of this week, BuzzCutt had a major upgrade and a major influx of content. They announced they now have 35,000 new establishments to frequent. 35,000 on the BuzzCutt app. Now that's all across the US. That's obviously not 35,000 establishments in Portland or even in Oregon. It's all across the US. But now that is like a robust database of available spots to get non-alcoholic drinks when you're out with your friends or when you're trying to figure out somewhere to go. A great way to do some research to see what types of options are available at the places you want to go, which only makes sense. We have such a great restaurant and bar industry in town that it's no doubt that people would be motivated and inspired to build apps for that community, but it's really nice to see BuzzCutt just totally leveling up 35,000 and supplying so many potential places for people to visit. So if you are sober or you're looking to reduce your alcohol consumption, please consider downloading BuzzCutt anywhere in the US now. So it's not just a Portland thing anymore, it's all across the US. The new CEO of Rain Catalyst is Rachel Jagoda Burnett. So she'll be starting here in March. Again, Caroline will still be there to help with the transition and ensure that Rachel gets started off on the right foot. But I'm eager to see what happens. Rachel has a substantial history of experience at the Lemelson Foundation, which has been quintessential to invention. Like they helped fund the Invent Oregon competition. They've worked closely with Portland State on a number of things. She's been in and around the startup community in many ways. It will be interesting to see how she takes that experience and puts it to work for Rain Catalyst, which really focuses on more rural entrepreneurship and rural startup activities. So congratulations, Rachel. Welcome kind of back to the Oregon startup community, and really looking forward to seeing what you do in this role, and wish you absolutely the best of luck. Now, a couple weeks ago, I started talking about Seattle because there were some things happening in the Seattle area. Kind of came more of a Pacific Northwest flavor of the podcast. Well, I'm talking about Seattle again because our friends at Pitch Latino, which if you haven't been or haven't heard of it, Pitch Latino is an annual pitch event for Latina, Latino, Latinx, Latine entrepreneurs. They don't necessarily need to be tech. The company that won the last time was a bakery. We've been lucky enough to have it in Portland for years. Now they're taking the show to Seattle. So in May, They will be holding Pitch Latino Seattle on the UW campus. They'll be sourcing entrepreneurs from the Seattle area. And then, of course, the crowd will get to vote and choose their favorite the same way they always have here in Portland. If you happen to be up in Seattle in May and want to attend, I'd highly encourage you to do that. If you're in Seattle right now, please look up Pitch Latino and grab your tickets. They're $25. All the proceeds, of course, go to the winning teams. And usually the way they've set it up is everybody gets some money for participating. It's not one of those winner take all kind of things, but a really interesting competition. Always meet some new and amazing companies here in Portland or in Oregon. And I would assume that Seattle and Washington will be no different. So good luck to our friends at Pitch Latino on that field trip, and looking forward to seeing who wins Pitch Latino Seattle. And that's about it this week. Kind of a quick episode, lots of AI stuff. I'm still getting my head around the AI stuff. Really interesting to see the state form that advisory council. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. If you'd like to stay up to date on all the AI stuff going on that I'm seeing or I'm talking about, just subscribe, and I'll send it to you. However you choose to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, I hope it's a good one. As always, it's great to have the opportunity to hang out with you. I'm so glad that you stopped by. It's always great to see you. And hope you're hanging in there. Hope everything's going well. And until we get the chance to chat again, please keep up the good work.